All right, welcome to Behind the Stripes podcast. I'm Mark Kenny, and with me tonight, I happen to have two great individuals. I happen to be working in an event and bumped into Adam Hargrave, who happens to be uh, wrestling official, wrestling assigner, junior high girls wrestling coach at Columbus Winfield Mount Union program, and I also have Miss Torie Hansen here who recently graduated from Louisa Muscatine, is now a varsity assistant of the girls wrestling program. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for joining me, Tori and Adam. Why don't you go ahead and start with Adam and tell me a little bit about yourself? Try to keep it short and sweet because there's you could talk for a while about all the accomplishments you've had. So
Just grew up in Letts. I actually graduated from the Whites Muscatine in 2005. Wrestled myself through high school. Grew up not really wanting to coach. So I became an official back in 2006 and been an official ever since. Obviously had several accolades go along with that, but that's here and near right now. But yeah, as far as coaching wise, just coaching the junior high girls at Columbus went for Mount Union. My daughter, she's involved in it, so that kind of really what got me going on I guess I want to say the coaching side of things.
awesome. And Tori, talk about your background a little bit from the Wise Muscatine. And earlier you were kind of telling me how you were kind of, I wouldn't say recruited, but someone kind of stepped
Yeah.
one on your ear about going to coach with him. So
Yeah, I just graduated from L&M 2025. I was a state qualifier, only state qualifier for L&M. I wrestled on and off since elementary school, and then I really focused and locked in like seventh and eighth grade, but obviously it wasn't sanctioned yet. So I didn't start wrestling on our high school team till about my sophomore year, and then I trained with a couple different clubs, and then I traveled and wrestled in the off season, so. Then Adam recruited me at AAU State. He kept bugging. He was in my ear. So,
well, I couldn't think of a better recruiter. So we're glad to have you
yes.
continuing on in your wrestling career here in Iowa, giving back to the sport, giving back to the
Mhm.
girls. So let's talk about that a little bit. So now, just recently you graduated, and now you have this title as a coach. So how's that transition has it gone? Has it been obviously there's the reward you get from winning matches as a wrestler, but now you get to see the thrill of the hard work a kid puts in. So
Mhm.
talk about that transition you've gone through from athlete to coach.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing, honestly. Like being in the practice room with them and then watching all of what they put in, getting out of it, Like I always tell them that, like, tell them whatever you put into this is what you're gonna get out. And when it like really transitions into their matches, I think that's just like the best feeling ever. It's almost like you're winning a match. Like when you wrestle and you win a match, that great feeling you have, it's like the same for them.
Absolutely. And I just remember, several times I had you on the mat as an official and see you go out there and battle. And I just knew you were just a tough-nosed kid that you were gonna give it all you had. And now your athletes are doing the same. It's really cool to see, Tori. So Adam, most people know you as a very accomplished wrestling official. I want to congratulate you as not last year, you were the Iowa Girls Wrestling Official of the Year. But recently, I believe you received another pretty prestigious award. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Uh, sure, I guess. I was notified from the girls' union that they'd be recognizing me during the state finals this year. So Friday night and presenting me with the NFHS Girl Official of the Year award for the national at the national level. So I'm pretty humbled and pretty excited about that.
Well, I would say that's a well-deserved award, Adam. I know, you were involved in officiating before I got started. I remember coaching and seeing you on the mat as an athlete, and I just knew you were a professional athlete. And now you always bring your A game to the mat. So it's just awesome. Every award you get, you definitely deserve, and you've helped me a lot in my officiating career. So I just want to thank you for that. Um, so Tori, what role has girls wrestling played in development of just you as a person, as an individual? If you want to touch on how wrestling has affected your life or impacted what you believe in.
Yeah. Um, Wrestling has taught me so many things. Hard work and dedication that gets you so far in life, and you might not like think about that when it comes to wrestling, but it really does. Like going in that wrestling room every single day. Towards the end of the season, it gets hard, it gets hard, but like you really will come out on top if you keep sticking it through. I think that's like one of the biggest things, hard work and determination. And then also just like using your failure when you fail, like you lose, yeah, come back and use it as motivation. I think that's like one of the biggest things that failure's just a setback, a minor setback.
Absolutely. And I think if you, and I had a coach tell me when I was growing up, there's either winning or there's learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with, you guys as coaches, I've seen you with your athletes. You guys are always upbeat. You're always positive. You're always talking about making those gains to get better and really teaching them the skills that we hope that we see in our future. And it's just awesome seeing you guys coach. You got a good staff, and I really have always appreciated that. So Adam, obviously, you wear a lot of hats. Obviously, you're a worker, you're a coach, you're an official, but you're also an assigner. So for those that don't know, Adam is one of those guys that is in charge of finding officials to fill events. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe you've filled events for schools from the youth tournaments all the way up to the high school. Talk about that and how you manage your time and how many events you have to coordinate and general public probably has no idea how much time you put into it. So talk about that a little if you would, Adam. I'd really appreciate it.
So it first all comes down to my wife. She's pretty loving and understanding when it comes to the amount of time and effort that it takes to do all of this. So with that being said, I want to make sure that I'm thanking her on that. With that, beyond that, I probably schedule anywhere between probably 150 to 170 events a year. And that ranges anywhere from the very southeast Iowa corners of Keokuk, stretches over to towards the Centerville area. Then if you head north up towards like the Cedar Fall, Waterloo, just north up maybe towards Denver, and then back towards the river. That's pretty much the area that Eastern Iowa Wrestling Officials Association assigns for. And we're always looking for more officials to get registered and signed up. Reach out to Mark. Mark can forward your information to me. If you have my email address, that's great. It's wrestlingrefs@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out. But we're always looking for officials, at every single level, whether it's the youth, your middle school, JV, varsity level, whatever you want to work. Look us up, and we can definitely help with that.
Well, I tell you what, it's a tall task, and you do a great job doing it. A lot of moving parts, because not only are you expecting your athletes to be organized, but the adults that you would think you would work with, you want them to be organized too. And I'm sure sometimes you've gotten some gray hairs from some adults maybe not being on top of things. So thank you very much for your work and effort with that. So kind of a nice little segue. So you mentioned that Adam was a big recruiter to get you in coaching. I know my buddy Joe and I were always working on Torie about trying to get her the stripes. I know there's people out there, Adam coaches and officiates. So now we're live on the air, Torie. Please consider getting the stripes yourself. What do you think?
Definitely up there. It's definitely a thought. Definitely thinking about it.
Absolutely. I tell you, just to echo what Adam said, we in Eastern Iowa, we feel we work pretty hard covering as many events as possible, but we could always use more officials. So obviously, if you're out there listening and you're even at the foggiest idea thinking about getting involved with wrestling and being an official, giving back, please reach out to myself, to Adam. Torie can get you in contact with people. We want, boys, we want girls, we want as many people as we can involved in our great sport because it's just We just want to give back and grow it. So Adam, what would be your sales pitch to someone that possibly you want to not only get into coaching, but also getting into officiating? Let's talk about the sales pitch you would give. I know your sales pitch worked with Torie, get her to coach. So now let's work on getting a sales pitch out to anyone who want to get the stripes.
And that's a big thing is if you want to give back to the sport, but yet you don't know how to give back to the sport, get involved in any way, whether it's coaching, officiating. That's just those are just two main examples of giving back to the sport. The sport brought me up, taught me several things throughout my life. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without the sport of wrestling. I don't think, with the dedication like Tori was talking about, and throughout life. It teaches you life experiences. But I think, becoming that official, it really also promotes, the camaraderie, between coaches, athletes, and, the other officials. I think that, that's, you know, as high as can be, in my opinion. So whether you give back one way or another. Just try, personally, I think that if you can coach or if you can be a referee, get out on the mat. I mean, it's tough, you feel the pressure out there every once in a while, especially in them high level matches. Um, but if you can go out there and conquer that type of stuff, you can pretty much do anything, and personally, in my opinion, in life.
I totally agree, and Tori, you could probably agree too. Like you've competed on some pretty big stages, and once you kind of compete on those tougher stages, like the day-to-day routine of life kind of gets
Mhm.
a little easier because you're used to always bringing it every day on the mat. Now you
Yeah,
just
for
have a
sure.
different. So right now, I believe you not only are coaching, but you're also helping with young students or young kids too, right?
Yeah.
So that's just awesome. Two great people, two great examples. So before I let anyone go, there's one last thing that most people don't know about Mr. Adam Hargrave. Yes, he's a great coach. Yes, he's a great wrestling official. Yes, he's great at managing time. He's a great father figure. All right, he's a great example of a dad. But Adam also has another title that he's able to officiate. So Adam, you want to talk about that a little bit?
So, yeah, sure. So I think it was about, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. Um, I got approached about being an ordained minister, and um, Lanny Brand actually reached out to me, and I was able to officiate, him and his wife's wedding. But then also right after that, Mark, reached out to me about a similar situation, and I had the opportunity to go up to his house, and we had a nice little ceremony at his house, and I was able to officiate his wedding as well.
I
So,
did.
all in all, it was great, and it's been fun.
So I get to Lanny's wedding and of course I happen to know the official up there that was officiating the wedding and I was like, well, I know that guy. And then, I was like, geez Louise, Adam's a good dude. I'll talk to him and see if he wants to marry my wife and I. And sure enough, about 3 years after that, he came up to Marion and we had a little private ceremony with our kids and it was just awesome. And my wife and I are eternally grateful for that, Adam. And so thanks for joining me tonight. I had Torie Hansen, I had Adam Hargrave, two great examples of just wrestling people that do what's right for everybody and just they always put their best foot forward. And for me and the wrestling community, I can't thank you guys enough for everything. So thanks for joining me tonight.